Evening, folks. Happy New Year, by the way. Let's hope that 2023 is a little better in Walton County than 2022. But I wanted to wait a little while before I did this review, just to see what other folks are putting out there. You know, there's a lot of things on social media and Facebook land and everything else. They're kind of breaking their arms, patting themselves on the back with all the good stuff that they think they've done, and not showing the flip side of the coin. So let's look at the other side of that coin for a little bit, folks, because you need to be informed on everything, not just the selective stuff. So let's just start off with our voting systems, our maintenance and license contract. Started off with getting records requests because we wanted to see the maintenance logs. Let's see what I got. And some of you have already seen this, but we're just recapping. This is a year in review, but plenty of redacting ink. This is how it was sent to me. So, now, well, Dan, you know what? Probably every county redacts some stuff in there. So, you know what? I asked some of our neighbors. Let's see here, I asked, is this Okaloosa County? Let's see here. Yep, we have Okaloosa that has 0 redaction, and we have what is this? Escambia. There's no redaction. I have the complete contracts. And I believe, I don't have Bay here right in front of me, but I believe Bay doesn't have a redaction either. Just don't have it right in front of me. But sure would like to know what all the redaction's about, but we'll move on. Let's move on to WildStar. So again, records requests. The county believes it's in good practice to let for-profit companies, or this particular for-profit company, use our assets, the citizens of this county's assets, to better their bottom line when it comes to utilizing, I guess, dish, satellite, whatever equipment they need to put on our county buildings or on county land, with absolutely no cost to them. Now, Freeport did one better. I'll give them credit. They got some mad negotiating skills in Freeport. Let's see here. We got Site 1, Site 7, Hammock Bay Tower, Freeport Well Tower. It's all on here. But they did the same thing with WildStar, and they get $1 a month per tower. At least they got something. I'll give them that. But again, this is a for-profit company. We're not getting a discount on internet service, y'all. You know, at least the citizens aren't, that I know of. But that's just another example of how we do it in Walton. Let's move on to Capital. Let me get the name right now. All this stuff was sent to me via records request. We're doing a capital projects list, or capital works, capital improvement projects, public works, capital improvement projects. Seems like they got a different heading for each year. It's all pretty much capital projects list. So I got the last 10 years because I was interested in why we wanted an extra $40 million a year on a 1% sales tax, in addition to the money that they already get. So I just took fiscal year 21-22 for the capital projects list, and the grand total money amount that they wanted to do was $2.4 million. They completed 822,000, so they're rolling over $1.5 million to the next year, the next fiscal year. That's just $2.4 million, folks. What did they want $40 million for? It's another head scratcher. But those are, anybody who wants any of this stuff, let me know. Send me your email address. I'll be glad to send it to you. I did post this stuff out there so you can see it for yourself. You don't have to just listen to me. What else do we have? Let's go to the golf course, our golf course, and now our restaurant. So again, we wanted money because we were broke, but we sunk and have been sinking millions into a golf course. $3.5 million on a P&L that I was sent by the county. So instead of trying to fix the situation, slow it down a little bit, you know, kind of put a tourniquet on the money that's being bled out, we had a restaurant. We got a restaurant, everybody, in the golf course that's losing millions. Hired a complete restaurant staff, and then I heard in a meeting via YouTube or Zoom, whatever I was watching it on, that we're leasing a dishwasher also at $200-300 a month. I guess business is booming, so I can't wait to see the P&L at the end of this year. Got a lot of catching up to do. That doesn't count everything else they're putting in out there that they are willing to send me in a records request. But let's move right along. Let's not pander on my favorite golf course. Another pet project that has been catching the ear is the DFS airport. Wonder how much money we're going to sink in that. It's right next to the golf course, so I guess you fly in on your private jet, because that's what I do. I fly in, park my jet, go play some golf, go back to my private jet, fly home. It seems like the cheerleaders are getting some positions now. The cheerleaders for the tax referendum. Appears that Uriah got a nice job. Looks like qualifications are lacking, but then again, this is Walton County. We don't find the person for the job, we find the job for the person. And then we got old Robert, my buddy. He is going to be on the planning commission. So I guess we'll be full speed ahead on those rubber stamps. I liked old Dan that was in there. I talked to him for a little bit, so you know, he's probably frustrated just like the rest of us. How about we move on to the lawsuits? This is another expense that we love to have in Walton County is lawsuits. My records request pulled up, I don't know, 28, 29 in litigation or on the books or whatever you want to call it. I think Edgewater just won theirs. I don't know how much money we sunk into battling that down there, but I'm sure it could have paved a couple roads or hired a few more friends or family in some made-up positions. I think we probably could have another liaison for something else. Maybe to go talk back and forth with the people at the dump or I don't know, you name it. I always need a couple of liaisons. Then we got a county administrator position open. I wonder whose brother's, cousin's, uncle's, sister's boyfriend's going to get that one. Not sure. You got the Defuniak Springs city manager position. We have the guy in the running that is our chair at the BCC. I believe he's still the chair, who was going to get fired from the sheriff's office per the records request, but he resigned for some issues, which moves us into another lawsuit, the Maxwell lawsuit. We got to do better. I mean, I still got some more to talk about, but we got to do better, folks. We're we got commissioners that don't know how to act when they go out of town. The alleged information in there about delivering a naked woman to another employee at the time, and the naked woman was an employee. I don't know, it's just crazy. All the text messages that are in that lawsuit. Look it up. It's Maxwell versus Walton County. I'm not going to go through line item by line item, but it's not something to be proud of, folks. A lot of you folks that's hitched these wagons to these guys might want to think about unhitching them. These depositions coming around the corner may provide a little bit more information than you want to know about these good old boys and that network. Let's see here. Let's move on to flip-flopping. Well, we got old Danny. Boots is pro-development anyway, so I mean, he's going to say yes to no matter what anyway. But Danny had said no to the Patterson project here in Freeport. And then all of a sudden, they had to revote for whatever reason. I don't care what you want to call it. I call it backdoor politics, but that's my opinion. But it got voted on again, and lo and behold, old Danny G switched his vote. That rubber stamp machine just is not going to stop, folks. It's not going to stop. I wonder who talked to whom and what was done with all that to flip that vote. Let's see here. Everybody got a raise in the county. That's good. I don't have a problem with raises, but I got a problem with handing out raises when you're saying you're broke. That's what I got a problem with. If you don't have any money, how can you give raises? That was the whole point behind the tax referendum. Now let's get this straight, folks. There's a Channel 13 or Channel 7 did a newscast on this, and every elected official, city, Freeport included, it was stated that they all agreed on this tax. So we have to keep this and the wording. So if you agreed with the wording of the tax, then you agreed with the tax. I don't know. I guess it's however you want to spin it there, O'Reilly. But everybody wanted it. An elected official, every elected official wanted it. So y'all have to keep that in mind when 2024 comes around, when these musical chairs start showing up on the ballots. You can't just be recycling folks. You can't just keep using the same folks that got you in this predicament in the first place and then scratch your head and go, why is this happening? Well, it's happening because we keep voting in like-minded, I'm gonna try and be nice, like-minded folks to sit in those chairs to make those decisions for us that don't want to listen to us. That's my take on it. And now let's go to my favorite subject. And the reason I like this subject is because it's a prime example of how things work in Walton County. I mean, I don't know, this example hits everything. It hits engineering, it hits developers, it hits, sneakiness, it hits less than true statements on applications, on allocation applications. But let's just move right on into it, because there's a couple of people that love when I kick this dead horse. And this is what I'm doing right now. So we're going to go to the appropriations project request for 2019. And you see it right here. It was, now remember this name, folks, remember this name. It was sponsored by House member Brad Drake, right up there. Sponsored by Brad Drake, who I'm assuming has grown up in this county. Or at least lived here, knows something about it, whatever you want to do. The requester was the city of Freeport and Mayor Russ. Again, the people on the city council at the time, Boots at the time, I mean, his family name probably named this town. They go back so far. So I know Boots knows the area, and he was a police officer for the area. So now let's get into the why on this application. It was for Bear Creek Bridge. There ain't nothing wrong with the bridge, folks. But Dewberry says, contact for questions about specific technical and financial details about this project, which is Dewberry, which is the same Dewberry that pretty much engineers this whole entire county. So the requesting document for the money is also the person who is going to do the bidding and get paid for the design of the bridge. That's not a conflict of interest, is it? It's like you're stating to somebody that, hey, ain't nothing wrong with your tire, but hey, that tire's pretty flat, but I know somebody can fix that tire. Oh, who? Me. Really, folks? So the person who says that bridge is messed up is the same person that we're going to pay to design it. Let's move right along. The issues is there's 800 plus, I don't need to read this, I know about her by now. There's 800 plus economically disadvantaged folks in the area. False. I went out there. It floods at every high rain event. False. I've been out there when that hurricane was sitting on us doing videos. So false. The interlocal agreement between us and the county, because the city went after the money, which it ain't even their bridge. And I wonder why. That bridge wouldn't happen to back up into a certain developer's land or future developments, is it? You wouldn't want a bigger bridge to have access to the bay. I'm just shooting in the dark, folks, to have some boats come in and out of there, because right now there's no way to get any boat accessibility. But we put a new bridge in. We we got waterfront property right in the center of Freeport. But here's the interlocal agreement, which states that in the interest of the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens and visitors to the county, this bridge needs to be replaced. 2019, folks. It's 2023. Must not be that much of a health safety hazard. So then we get to our Dewberry engineer talking to our Walton County Public Works with records requests. What do you think the best approach would be to convince FDOT that Bay Loop will never be 4 lanes in anyone's lifetime? We don't want to extend outside piles if we can avoid it. If they are long piles already and would add lots of cost to the project. What if we referred to the county's recently adopted long-range transportation plan submitted to the TPO? That is a 20-year plan that does not indicate any widening of CR 83A. So I guess we're trying to fool FDOT for some reason. Whatever they want to do. That's how we roll here. We have 2 admissions of guilt. One from a city council member. And then one from Danny G. Danny G's is pretty much the best. Even though Elizabeth is more detailed, but Danny G basically just says all roads eventually require repair, and we look rather short-sighted in a few years if the bridge needs repair, and we sent the money back. So, you know, they got $850,000. Guess who's the only person who's been paid yet? Guess. I'll let y'all ponder a little bit. But guess who's the only one that have been paid? Dewberry. So what do we do with Brad Drake? Well, he timed out in his current position. So this guy who sponsored this allocation for $850,000 that we didn't need, and I'm just a lonely old citizen who found all this stuff out. These are some higher up the food chain folks, and they couldn't do a little digging for themselves. But we reward this guy with the Director of Rural and Community Affairs in the Governor Ron DeSantis office. Well, I don't want to go on too much longer. It's 23 minutes. But that's a little bit of the year in review. We need some change, folks. There's no way out of this. The issues that we got going, and that's just a few, folks. That's just Dan. That's just Dan, you know, getting some records requests and poking around and getting my shovel out and seeing what I can find out. Because I don't know about you, but I am tired of being a mushroom. I will not be fed crap and kept in the dark any longer in this county. So we need some folks in 2024. Yes, I am pretty much going to be running for D1. I've had enough myself. Not sure who else is running in the other districts. I don't care if I heard Nick might run in D1. I heard Boots might run in D1. I heard Boots might run for sheriff. There's all kinds of rumors out there, but the only thing that's not a rumor is this guy. So everybody have a good week, or the rest of the week. It's the weekend. Let's go Cowboys, and let's try to have a good year. Let's get involved. Let's be engaged. This is our county, not the developer's county, not the commissioner's county. This is our county. Let's try and keep them in check, folks. Let's try and keep the accountability level high. Everybody have a good day, and God bless.